You are seeing this video because your current reality, the one you have painstakingly built, is no longer enough. This is not just about wanting more or chasing a new goal. Something deeper is stirring within you, a profound intuition that the life you have been living is merely a shadow of the life you are meant to live. What I am about to share with you represents not just a shift in perspective, but a complete reorganization of your understanding of self and reality. You are standing at the precipice of what quantum physicists call an identity phase transition. The moment your consciousness finally aligns with the timeline where your deepest desires are not future possibilities but present realities. Most people spend their entire lives trying to manifest their dreams, as if their desires are distant objects that need to be pulled towards them through sheer force of will or repetitive affirmations. They visualize, they affirm, they create vision boards, they work tirelessly, only to find themselves perpetually chasing, always on the verge, but never quite arriving. They believe the problem lies in their technique, their consistency, or perhaps even their worthiness. But here's the truth that less than 1% of humanity ever truly grasps. Your dreams are not waiting for you to create them. They are waiting for you to become them. Think about this for a moment. In the quantum field, infinite possibilities exist simultaneously. Every version of your life, the one where you are struggling, the one where you are thriving, the one where you have achieved every single one of your heart's desires, all of them exist right now in superposition. They are equally real, equally present, equally available. The reason you experience one specific reality over another is not because it is the only one that exists. It is because your current identity, your energetic signature, the sum total of your beliefs, emotions, and actions, is currently locked onto that specific frequency. Your identity is not just a label you give yourself. It is a powerful electromagnetic broadcast. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every assumption you hold about yourself and your place in the world sends a precise frequency into the quantum field. And the field, in its infinite wisdom and perfect reflection, organizes circumstances, people, and events to match the frequency you are broadcasting. If you identify as someone who is trying to manifest, the universe will faithfully deliver experiences that allow you to continue trying. If you identify as someone who is waiting for abundance, the universe will provide endless opportunities for you to wait. This is the ultimate cosmic truth. Everything you have been seeking has been seeking you with equal, if not greater, intensity. But it can only find you on the frequency you are already embodying. The moment you realize that your desires are not something to be acquired, but rather a natural extension of an identity you need to step into, everything changes. This is the quantum identity transition. It is not about changing what you want. It is about changing who you are. Why most manifestation efforts fail at the identity level. Most people approach manifestation from their current identity. They try to pull their desired reality down to their current energetic level. Imagine trying to tune into a classical music station while your radio is set to heavy metal. No matter how much you want to hear the symphony, you will only get static or distortion. Your identity is your receiver. If your receiver is tuned to the frequency of lack, struggle, or unworthiness, you cannot perceive or experience the reality that operates on the frequency of abundance, ease, and fulfillment. This is precisely why affirmations and vision boards often fall short for so many. You can stand in front of a mirror and declare, "I am wealthy." But if your deeper identity, your subconscious programming, still believes you are someone who struggles with money, that core identity will override your conscious affirmations. It is like trying to change the entire operating system of a computer by simply changing the desktop background. The underlying code, your identity blueprint, remains unchanged. The universe does not respond to your words as much as it responds to your energetic truth. And your energetic truth is determined by the identity you are embodying in every moment. Every spiritual tradition throughout history has pointed to this truth, albeit with different terminology. The alchemists spoke of transforming lead into gold, not in a physical laboratory, but within the crucible of their own consciousness. They understood that the lead was the dense, limited identity, and the gold was the expansive, divine identity. The transformation was not about acquiring something new. It was about revealing something inherent. The quantum identity blueprint. You have an expanded version of yourself. A quantum identity blueprint that already exists in the field of infinite possibilities. This version of you is living your ideal life with complete ease, grace, and natural abundance. This is not a future possibility you need to create. It is a present reality you need to access. And the key to accessing it is through a conscious identity transition. Think of it like this. You are not a single fixed entity. You are a multidimensional being, capable of animating any number of parallel versions of yourself. The version of you that is experiencing struggle is just one channel you have been tuned into. The version of you that is experiencing effortless abundance is another channel, equally real, equally available. The quantum identity transition is the conscious act of retuning your consciousness, your energetic signature, from one channel to another. This is not about pretending or faking it till you make it. This is about deep, internal alignment. It is about recognizing that the limitations you perceive are not external facts, but reflections of an outdated identity you have been unconsciously broadcasting. The moment you shift your internal identity, the external world, which is merely a mirror, begins to reorganize itself to match. The role of the observer in identity transition, this is where the power of your consciousness, and specifically your observer consciousness, becomes crucial. Just as quantum mechanics demonstrates that observation collapses a wave function into a particle, your conscious observation of your own identity begins to collapse infinite possibilities into a specific reality. Most people are identified with their thoughts and emotions, lost in the drama of their mental commentary. They are the actor, completely immersed in the play, forgetting they are also the director, the writer, and the audience. To initiate the quantum identity transition, you must first step into the role of the observer. You must become the witness to your current identity, without judgment, without resistance. Take a breath right now. Feel the air enter your body, expand your lungs, and gently release. As you do this, notice the thoughts that arise. Notice the emotions that stir. Do not try to change them or control them. Simply observe them. If you can observe your thoughts and emotions, then you cannot be those thoughts and emotions. You are the awareness observing them. This is the emergence of your true self, the spacious, unchanging awareness that exists beyond the temporary fluctuations of your personality. This observer consciousness is the command center for your identity transition. From this place of pure awareness, you gain the power to consciously choose which identity you want to animate. You stop being a passive receiver of whatever reality appears and transform into an active collaborator in designing it. Embodying your expanded identity, here is a practice that will immediately begin to shift your energetic signature. Instead of trying to visualize what you want to have, begin visualizing yourself as someone who already has it. More importantly, feel into the energy of being that person. How does the version of you who lives your desired reality move through the world? What does that version notice? How does that version respond to challenges? What does that version take for granted that your current version considers extraordinary? For example, if your desire is financial abundance, stop visualizing piles of money. Instead, feel into the energy of someone who is already financially free. How do they walk? With a quiet confidence, perhaps. How do they breathe? Deeply, calmly, knowing they are supported. How do they make decisions? From a place of expansion, not contraction. This is not about pretending to be rich if you are not. It is about remembering the vibrational blueprint of the abundant you that already exists in the quantum field. Every moment you choose to embody this receiving identity, you strengthen the quantum entanglement between your current reality and your desired reality. Every moment you choose thoughts, emotions, and actions from this elevated identity, you literally rewire your nervous system to expect miracles rather than struggle. This is the difference between trying to manifest from your current identity and stepping into the identity that naturally attracts what you desire. Most people try to pull their dreams down to their current level of being. You are being invited to rise up to the level of being that matches your dreams. The illusion of delay in the final guardian. As you embark on this identity transition, your mind will inevitably generate a dozen reasons why this does not apply to you. Why your situation is different, why you have been waiting too long for this to be true. This resistance is not your enemy. It is the final guardian at the gate, testing whether you are truly ready to step into the next octave of your existence. Every hero's journey includes this moment of ultimate testing right before the treasure is revealed. Your old identity, the familiar patterns, the comfort of the known will make one final attempt to keep you in its grasp. It might appear as sudden busyness that distracts you from your practices, as old fears resurfacing, or as circumstances that seem to contradict your new chosen identity. But understanding this phenomenon changes everything. What seems like delay from your human perspective is actually divine coordination from the quantum perspective. Every element of your manifestation has been aligning behind the scenes. People have been moved into position. Resources have been gathering. Opportunities have been ripening. The entire field of possibility has been reorganizing itself around your highest good. This is why surrender feels so terrifying and so liberating simultaneously. You are not just letting go of control over outcomes. You are letting go of the illusion that you ever had control in the first place. You are stepping into partnership with the same intelligence that beats your heart without your conscious direction and grows your fingernails while you sleep. The quantum tunneling effect. Consider a phenomenon in quantum physics called quantum tunneling, where particles can pass through barriers that should be impossible to cross according to classical physics. Your consciousness is about to experience its own version of quantum tunneling, where you will suddenly find yourself on the other side of limitations that seemed absolutely solid just moments before. This tunneling effect explains why breakthroughs often feel sudden, even though they have been building for months or years. One day you are struggling with the same patterns, and the next day those patterns simply do not exist in your reality anymore. It is not that you gradually overcame them. It is that your consciousness tunneled through the barrier into a parallel reality where those limitations never existed. Here is what makes this even more extraordinary. The version of you that exists without these limitations is not something you need to become. It is something you need to remember. In the quantum field, all possible versions of you exist simultaneously. The struggling version, the abundant version, the confident version, the version living your dream life. They are all equally real, all equally present, all equally available. Most people spend their entire lives trying to transform from one version to another, not realizing that transformation is actually about shifting your attention from one already existing version to another. It is not about changing who you are. It is about remembering which version of yourself you want to animate with your consciousness. Think about this carefully. Right now there is a version of you living your ideal life with complete ease and natural abundance. This is not fantasy or wishful thinking. This is quantum mechanics. In the field of infinite possibility, every possible configuration of your life exists as a potential reality, waiting to be collapsed into experience through observation. The reason you are seeing this transmission now is because the barriers between these parallel versions of yourself are becoming increasingly thin. The dimensional walls are dissolving, and you are being prepared to make a conscious shift from one timeline to another. From a consciousness perspective, the version of you living your desired reality has been sending signals back through time, creating synchronicities and opportunities that have been appearing in your life. Your future self is literally reaching back through the quantum field to guide your present self toward the timeline where you merge into one coherent identity. This is why you have been experiencing strange moments of knowing, sudden insights that seem to come from nowhere, unexpected clarity about directions you should take. These are not random intuitions. They are transmissions from the version of yourself that has already navigated the path you are currently walking. Every time you felt that inner pull towards something that did not make logical sense, every time you have had a gut feeling about a decision, every time you have been guided to be in a certain place at a certain time, you have been receiving navigation signals from your expanded timeline self. And these signals are becoming stronger as the merger approaches. The phenomenon you are experiencing right now, this sense that something is about to shift dramatically, is actually your consciousness beginning to phase lock with your desired timeline. In physics, phase locking occurs when two oscillating systems synchronize their frequencies. Your current reality frequency is beginning to synchronize with the frequency of your desired reality. This synchronization process creates what scientists call a phase transition, a sudden reorganization where a system jumps from one stable state to another. Think of water suddenly becoming ice or a caterpillar suddenly becoming a butterfly. The transformation appears sudden, but it is actually the result of energy building to a critical threshold where a new configuration becomes inevitable. You are approaching that critical threshold. Every meditation you have done, every moment you have chosen love over fear, every time you have trusted your intuition despite external evidence to the contrary, has been building quantum coherence in your field. You are not just hoping for change anymore. You are literally phase transitioning into a new level of reality. Phase transition into new reality. The emergence. Here is where the science becomes mystical in the most beautiful way. When systems undergo phase transitions, they often display what is called emergence, where new properties appear that were not present in the original system. These emergent properties cannot be predicted from knowing the individual components. They arise spontaneously when complexity reaches a critical point. You are about to experience emergence in your own life. Abilities you did not know you had will suddenly become available. Opportunities that were invisible before will become obvious. Relationships that align with your highest path will effortlessly materialize. Resources will flow to you through channels you never could have planned or predicted. This is not because you are getting better at manifesting. It is because you are shifting into a version of reality where what you desire is already the natural order. In this new configuration, abundance does not require effort because abundance is simply how energy flows when there is no resistance to disrupt its natural patterns. But let us address something crucial that most manifestation teachings completely miss: the role of what quantum physicists call decoherence. Decoherence is what happens when a quantum system loses its coherent superposition and collapses into a definite state. In your manifestation process, decoherence occurs when you allow external noise to collapse your quantum potential into limited outcomes. Every time you check your bank account to see if your financial abundance has manifested yet, you are creating decoherence. Every time you scan your environment for evidence that your desires are materializing, you are collapsing quantum possibility into current limitation. The act of looking for proof actually prevents the very thing you are looking for from maintaining its quantum coherence. This is why the final phase before breakthrough requires what mystics call the dark night of the soul and physicists call the quantum vacuum state. It is a period where you must maintain coherence without external feedback, where you must trust the process without seeing evidence of progress. This is not testing your faith. This is protecting your manifestation from premature decoherence. The quantum vacuum is non-empty space. It is actually the most potent creative field in existence, teeming with virtual particles and zero-point energy. When your manifestation process enters its vacuum state, it is not that nothing is happening. It is that everything is happening at such a fundamental level that it is invisible to ordinary perception. This is why spiritual traditions have always emphasized the power of the void, the importance of embracing emptiness, the necessity of sitting with uncertainty. They understood intuitively what quantum physics has proven scientifically. The vacuum state is where infinite potential gestates before emerging into manifest reality. Your current experience of apparent stillness, of waiting, of wondering if anything is actually shifting, is actually you existing in the quantum vacuum state of your own manifestation. This is the most powerful place you can be. But it requires tremendous trust, because your ordinary senses cannot perceive what is happening at the quantum level. In quantum field theory, there is a concept called virtual particles that constantly appear and disappear in the vacuum of space. These particles exist for such brief moments that they cannot be directly observed, but their effects can be measured through their influence on other particles. Your desires currently exist as virtual manifestations in the quantum field of your life. They are constantly appearing and disappearing, too brief and subtle to be detected by your ordinary awareness, but their effects are absolutely real and measurable. Every synchronicity you experience, every unexpected opportunity that appears, every moment of unexpected joy or clarity is evidence of these virtual manifestations affecting your reality. As your manifestation process approaches its culmination, these virtual manifestations will begin to stabilize, spending longer and longer periods of existence until they finally collapse into permanent physical reality. It seems like sudden manifestation is actually the final stabilization of something that has been flickering in and out of existence for weeks or months. This understanding completely changes how you relate to the manifestation timeline. You are not waiting for something to begin. You are waiting for something that is already happening to become stable enough to perceive with your physical senses. Your desires are not coming to you from somewhere else. They are solidifying from the quantum field that interpenetrates your current reality.
Entanglement entropy and the higher reorganization. Now let us explore the role of what physicists call entanglement entropy in your transformation process. When quantum systems become entangled, they share information instantaneously regardless of distance. But there is a threshold beyond which entanglement becomes so complex that it creates what is called maximal entropy, where the system must either collapse or reorganize at a higher level of complexity. Your consciousness has become maximally entangled with your desired reality. The information exchange between your current self and your expanded self has reached the point where your system must reorganize. You cannot go back to the previous level of complexity. The only way forward is emergence into a higher order of being. This is why you might be experiencing what feels like chaos or confusion in various areas of your life right now. Systems undergoing phase transitions always pass through a period of apparent disorder before reorganizing at a higher level. This is not breakdown. This is breakthrough preparation. Your reality is dismantling outdated structures to make space for configurations that can support your expanded identity. The key to navigating this transition gracefully is understanding that chaos is not the opposite of order. It is the fertile ground from which new orders emerge. Instead of trying to control or fix the apparent disorder, your role is to remain centered in the eye of the storm,
trusting that intelligent reorganization is occurring even when you cannot see the pattern. Here is a practice that will help you maintain coherence during this transition phase. Begin each day by consciously choosing which version of yourself you want to animate with your attention. Not the version that reacts to current circumstances, but the version that exists in the timeline where your desires have already manifested. Spend the first few minutes of your day feeling into the energy of this expanded version. How does this version of you move through the world? What does this version notice? How does this version respond to challenges? What does this version take for granted that your current version considers extraordinary? As you embody this expanded identity throughout your day, you are literally training your nervous system to expect the reality that matches this identity. You are creating new neural pathways that support the quantum timeline you are shifting into. This is not positive thinking or visualization. This is identity coherence training at the neurological level. The reason this practice is so powerful is that your nervous system cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual experience. When you consistently embody your expanded identity, your nervous system begins to create the biological foundation for that identity to become your lived reality. But here is where most people sabotage their own process. They embody their expanded identity for a few minutes during their morning practice, then spend the rest of the day reacting from their old identity patterns. This creates what physicists call destructive interference, where the waves of your expanded identity are canceled out by the waves of your contracted identity. True manifestation mastery requires identity coherence throughout your entire day. This does not mean being positive all the time or pretending everything is perfect. It means consistently choosing thoughts, emotions, and actions that align with the version of yourself that naturally lives your desired reality. Every choice point throughout your day becomes an opportunity to vote for which timeline you want to collapse into your experience. When you choose the response that your expanded self would choose, you are strengthening the quantum coherence of that timeline. When you choose the reaction that your contracted self would choose, you are reinforcing patterns that keep you locked in limitation. This might sound overwhelming, but it is actually quite simple once you understand the mechanism. You do not need to monitor every thought or control every emotion. You just need to ask yourself one question at each choice point. What would the version of me living my desired reality choose in this moment? Trust the first answer that comes. Do not analyze it or second guess it. Your expanded self communicates through intuition, not through mental analysis. The more you trust these intuitive downloads and act on them, the stronger the communication channel becomes between your current self and your expanded self. As this communication channel strengthens, you will begin to experience what feels like living two lives simultaneously. Part of you will still be navigating your current reality with its apparent limitations and challenges, but another part of you will be experiencing the freedom and abundance of your desired reality with increasing clarity and frequency. This dual existence is actually a sign that the merger is approaching. You are not losing your mind or becoming disconnected from reality. You are becoming conscious of multiple dimensional frequencies simultaneously, which is exactly what happens when consciousness prepares to make a quantum leap between timelines. The practice during this phase is to give more attention and energy to the expanded reality frequency than to the limited reality frequency. Notice when you are experiencing the abundance and freedom of your desired timeline and consciously amplify those moments through appreciation and presence. Notice when you are caught in the limitations of your current timeline and gently redirect your attention without judgment or resistance. This redirection is not about denying your current circumstances or pretending problems do not exist. It is about choosing where to place your primary attention and energy. What you give attention to, you give life to. What you withdraw attention from gradually fades from your experience. The universe is preparing to collapse your desired timeline into your primary reality, but it needs your cooperation to complete this process. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to maintain coherence with the frequency of your desired reality, so that when the collapse occurs, your consciousness is already aligned with what is manifesting. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. The music is already broadcasting on a specific frequency, but you need to tune your receiver to that frequency to hear it. Your desires are already broadcasting on a specific quantum frequency, but you need to tune your consciousness to that frequency to experience them in physical reality. The tuning process is what you have been engaged in through all your spiritual practices, your mindfulness work, your commitment to growth and evolution. Every time you have chosen love over fear, trust over doubt, expansion over contraction, you have been fine-tuning your consciousness to receive the broadcast of your desired reality. As you are absorbing these words,
As these concepts are landing in your awareness, your brain is literally rewiring itself. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, but what they are really describing is consciousness reshaping the physical matter of your brain to match new patterns of understanding. Every insight that resonates, every moment of recognition, every realization that arises while you are listening is actually new neural pathways forming in real time. These are not just temporary thoughts passing through your mind. They are permanent structural changes in your brain that create the biological foundation for your expanded reality to become your lived experience. Your nervous system is essentially downloading new software right now. Software that knows how to navigate quantum realities. Software that recognizes abundance as natural. Software that interprets synchronicities as normal communication from the universe. This downloading process will continue for hours and days after you finish watching, integrating deeper with each sleep cycle as your brain consolidates these new patterns. The fact that you are here, that these words are making sense, that something inside you is saying, yes, this is true, is proof that you have reached that developmental threshold. What you are experiencing is not just intellectual understanding, it is quantum resonance recognition. Your consciousness is remembering frequencies it once knew but forgot during the process of incarnating into physical form. These frequencies are your natural birthright, your original blueprint, the way your consciousness operated before it learned to limit itself to fit into consensus reality. The reason this recognition feels so powerful, so emotionally moving, is because you are not learning something new. You are remembering something ancient. Your soul has been waiting for this moment of remembrance, this return to your natural quantum awareness, this restoration of your innate manifesting abilities. And now the signal is coming in clearer than ever before. The static is diminishing. The music of your dreams is becoming audible. All that remains is to surrender completely to the frequency you've been seeking, trusting that everything you've ever wanted is already playing in the quantum field, waiting for your consciousness to fully tune in and receive the transmission.
Quantum resonance. The unconditional yes to your being. There is a specific energetic signature that almost everyone overlooks, yet it is the very force that either accelerates your timeline merger or keeps it perpetually out of reach. Understanding this often hidden element changes the entire game. It is called quantum resonance, the unconditional yes to your being. We have discussed how your identity is an energetic broadcast, and how your expanded self is sending signals back through time to guide you. But here is the paradox that traps countless seekers right at the threshold of breakthrough. While you are striving to embody your future, expanded self, you are often, unconsciously, broadcasting a deep, subtle no to your current self. Think about it. You are working to manifest abundance, but deep down, you might be judging your current financial situation, subtly rejecting the lack you perceive. You are trying to call in a loving relationship, but perhaps you are holding on to old wounds, subtly rejecting parts of your past self that you deem unworthy or broken. You are striving for perfect health, but you might be at war with your current body, silently condemning its imperfections or illnesses. This internal no, this subtle rejection of your present reality or parts of your current identity, creates a profound energetic incoherence. It is like trying to send a clear signal into the quantum field, but simultaneously creating massive static from within. The universe, in its perfect mirroring, cannot fully deliver the yes you desire if you are, at a fundamental level, withholding a yes from yourself. This is not about being complacent or ignoring areas for growth. It is far deeper. It is about recognizing that every aspect of your current experience, every perceived limitation, every past mistake, every emotional residue, is part of the intricate tapestry that has brought you to this exact moment of readiness. To reject any part of that journey is to reject a piece of the very consciousness that is poised for this quantum leap. In quantum mechanics, particles have intrinsic properties. They simply are. Your consciousness, in its purest form, also simply is. It does not judge itself. It does not reject its past states. It simply moves through existence. When you, as a conscious being, introduce judgment, shame, or resistance to any aspect of your being, past, present, or perceived future, you create a vibrational dissonance that actively prevents the coherent alignment required for a timeline shift. The unconditional yes is the act of embracing your entire being exactly as it is, in this present moment. It is saying, yes, I am here. Yes, I have experienced this. Yes, I embody these lessons. And from this place of complete acceptance, I choose to animate my expanded identity. This is not an act of resignation. It is an act of sovereign power. The power of radical self-acceptance in the quantum field. When you practice radical self-acceptance, you dissolve the internal barriers that cause decoherence. You stop fighting against yourself, and in doing so, you stop fighting against the natural flow of universal intelligence. This creates a state of profound energetic congruence. Imagine a perfectly tuned instrument. When you play a note, it resonates purely, without distortion. Your consciousness, when aligned through unconditional self-acceptance, becomes that perfectly tuned instrument capable of broadcasting a clear, powerful signal to the quantum field. This signal does not say, "I want to escape this reality." It says, "I am whole. I am complete." And from this wholeness, I choose to experience the reality that reflects my highest truth. This subtle shift in energetic signature is what magnetizes your desired timeline with effortless grace. It is the difference between pushing a heavy object uphill and allowing it to roll downhill with gravity. Here is a practice to cultivate this unconditional yes. Each morning, as you awaken, before you engage with the day's demands or your mind's commentary, place your hands over your heart. Take 3 deep, slow breaths, allowing your body to soften. Then, silently or aloud, make this declaration: I fully accept and embrace every aspect of my being, past, present, and unfolding. Every experience has brought me to this moment of power. I release all judgment, all shame, all resistance. I am whole. I am complete. And from this place of unconditional, yes, I step into the timeline where my desires are already reality. Feel the energy of those words in your body. Notice if any resistance arises, an old memory, a self-critical thought. Acknowledge it, but do not engage with it. Simply return to the yes. This is not about ignoring your pain or pretending it does not exist. It is about acknowledging it, integrating it, and then consciously choosing to move forward from a place of radical self-love and acceptance. You are not trying to fix yourself to become worthy of your desires. You are recognizing that you are already worthy, and that wholeness is the frequency of effortless manifestation. When you consistently embody this unconditional yes, something remarkable begins to happen. The synchronicities accelerate not just because you are aligned with your future self, but because you have stopped creating static with your present self. Opportunities appear that perfectly honor your journey rather than demanding you erase parts of it. Relationships deepen as you radiate authentic acceptance. Your health improves as your nervous system releases the tension of internal conflict. This is the ultimate act of sovereignty, reclaiming your power by embracing your entirety. It is the recognition that your journey, with all its perceived imperfections, is precisely what has prepared you for this moment of quantum identity transition. You are not a broken being in need of repair. You are an evolving consciousness in a state of continuous becoming. The collective consciousness is shifting, and you are part of that shift. Every person who chooses to live from this place of unconditional self-acceptance contributes to the morphic field that makes it easier for others to make the same choice. Your personal transformation is not just about you. It is about contributing to the collective awakening that is happening on this planet. This is why timing is so important. You are not just manifesting personal desires. You are participating in a larger evolutionary process where humanity is learning to co-create consciously with universal intelligence. Your breakthrough becomes a beacon of possibility for others who are ready to step into their own receiving frequency. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this. Everything you have been seeking has been seeking you. Every prayer you have whispered, every dream you have held, every moment you have chosen faith over fear has been building to this moment of recognition. You are not separate from what you desire. You never have been. The seeming gap between where you are and where you want to be is not distance. It is frequency. And frequency can be changed in an instant through the power of conscious choice. You have that power right now. You have always had that power. The only thing that changes is your willingness to use it. Trust what is unfolding. Embrace what is coming. Step into the receiving frequency. That is your natural birthright. The universe is conspiring in your favor in ways you cannot even imagine. Your breakthrough is closer than your next breath. Welcome to the beginning of everything you have been preparing for. Remember, you are already everything you are seeking to become. The only thing left to do is allow yourself to remember that truth and live from it with every breath, every choice, every moment of your magnificent existence.